Hi, so this morning I'm going to talk to you about how you can check whether you've got enough fall on your French drain. There's no point in putting the drain in if you don't have the actual pipe going downwards to take the water away. So I found a really simple way. I spent a bit of time researching on YouTube when I was putting the drain in, and none of them really worked for me, so I've come up with a really simple solution and I hope it works for you. First, let's look at our drainage channel. So the water comes off this hilled area and falls onto this garden, and it floods the garden for probably about half of the year. So I've dug in this drainage channel here. It's about 1.5 to 2 foot deep, and it goes under some tree roots that I found as I've been going through. It's probably about 20 feet long, but I can't see from the naked eye, and obviously you can't see from the video, whether this channel actually has a natural fall on it or not. What you'll need for this is some canes, a tape measure, a marker pen, some string, some scissors, some sellotape and a spirit level. So what I've done is I've put my 2 canes in the trench. You can see them both there, about 10 feet apart, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to measure up each one of those canes the exact same height. So for this one I'm going to use 2 feet, and I'm going to place a little mark at 2 feet, and I'm going to do the same for the other cane. And then I'm going to tie a piece of string across from this 2 foot mark to the other cane's 2 foot mark, and I'm going to seal that string in place with some sellotape. Here goes. So I've now attached my string to each one of the canes, and as you can see I've just used a couple of pieces of wood batten to make sure that the string is actually taut. And now we are going to check whether the trench is actually falling. Here we go. Here's my spirit level. And yes, you can see there is clearly, hold it flat there, it's clearly a downward fall to my trench. What you can then do is take the highest cane and simply spin it round in the trench, drop it to a lower point. There we are. Once you have it again in this position, you can check that the string is exactly 2 feet above the point at which you've put the stake into the ground, and run the whole process again. Now I wouldn't recommend having string more than about 10 feet, because if you go longer you might miss some bumps and lumps and undulations in your trough, and then the water may not flow correctly. So 10 feet would probably be my maximum. The other way you can do this, it's much more crude but it still works, is if you have a flat point of reference that you can use just to check with your eye whether there's an actual fall. So I know that this polytunnel, for example, is perfectly flat. As you can see, I've just checked it with the spirit level there. So what I'm going to do is focus back on my string, and so long as the left hand point of where the string is tied is higher than the right hand point, I know there's a fall on my trough. So if we just go down here, you can see that the right hand point is just going out of view now, and the left hand point is still visible. So therefore we have a definite fall on that trough. My final steps now will be to lay this pipe into the trench, underlay it with some shale and stones, and then obviously cover it in the ground cover, as you can see there, to stop any soil getting into it. Just before I do that though, once I've put the stones inside the trench, I can check again whether it's still got a fall on it, whether it actually slopes downwards. I can do this by using a sort of half gutter pipe, or maybe even just put a hose pipe on it and just pour some water into the top. Make sure you don't put the hose pipe on it, because obviously with the pressure of the water the water will obviously force itself out the other end. So it literally has to be a disconnected hose pipe which will go all the way down to the bottom of the trench just to make sure the water flows. Okay, so thanks for watching. I hope this video's worked for you. If you've liked it, please hit the like button and share it, and watch out for other videos.